It may be Apple's budget phone, but iPhone 17e is now so easy to recommend because of two huge upgrades. Let's talk about it. Real quick, if you want to keep up to date with all of the latest Apple news and reviews, hit that subscribe button. I was always a fan of the iPhone 16e. I thought it was a great value for an iPhone versus buying some of the older models. But it had two big problems that kept me from recommending it. If you followed the channel for a while, you probably know what they are, but I'll tell you towards the end of this video. The newly announced iPhone 17e arrives on scene sporting the same form factor as its predecessor, except now it comes in a new soft pink color alongside white and black. I'm curious, what color would you prefer your perfect iPhone to be? Vote in the comments. I would love a metallic red. It's got a 6.1-inch display, yes, still with a notch at the top. The display is a little stronger though, thanks to Apple's Ceramic Shield 2 coating. This doesn't get enough attention. Ceramic Shield 2 is on the entire iPhone 17 line and it's wild. It does a great job at preventing scratches compared to before. On the back of iPhone 17e is still a 48 megapixel camera that can give you 2 times optical quality photos. One nice thing that Apple did was enable next generation portrait shots. See, with other iPhones, Apple actually uses 2 of the cameras for portrait photography. It uses 2 of the cameras, like your eyes, to capture depth of an image and use this to make a portrait shot with blurred backgrounds. But on a single camera device, like iPhone 17e, Apple has to do this all via software. This capability has slowly gotten better over time. Originally, it wasn't even that good, and for a while, it was limited to just taking portrait photos of people. On iPhone 17e though, Apple is now allowing you to capture even more portrait-style shots, food, pets, as well as people. For regular users, it felt just like such an odd limitation because there was no real explanation for why it didn't or didn't work. This is perfect for keeping that functionality uniform across devices. Perhaps the big change here is with the silicon on the inside. Apple has moved to the A19 chip. It's not exactly the same one found on iPhone 17 though. The iPhone 17e version still has a 6-core CPU, but it has a 4-core GPU rather than a 5-core. Apple often uses bin versions of its chips like this, so I don't consider it really a downgrade since the iPhone 16e didn't have a 5-core GPU either. So you still get a faster processor, just not as graphics heavy as the more expensive phone. Fair. Battery life is rated the same, eking out 26 hours of use, though it will be less if you're using your phone a lot. To me, none of this amounts to any sort of big change. Just little things to keep the budget phone running the latest silicon and enabling the latest features. So what are the 2 big changes? First, storage. Apple upgraded the base storage from 128 gigs to 256 at the same price. I think that's substantial, especially with the cost of storage at the moment. I was just helping my great aunt with her phone, and even she had about 80 gigs of stuff on her phone. And she would tell me she was worried about running out of space, so she was regularly deleting apps and photos. So 128 gigs is not nearly enough for a phone's base storage these days. 256 gigs is much more palatable, and I think it really helps deliver on the value proposition for this device. Finally, Apple added MagSafe. I have no idea how the original iPhone 16e lacked this feature. Seriously, Apple's justification was along the lines of the fact that most people buying the 16e wouldn't use MagSafe. They'd happily plug their phones in at night. But as I said way early on, no way. Apple just crushed it with MagSafe. It's popular. My grandmother uses a MagSafe charger on her nightstand, and I did not recommend it or buy it for her. My mom uses a MagSafe wallet. Everyone I know has a MagSafe car mount or car charger. Clearly, Apple watched my original videos on this matter and decided, hey, Andrew's right, because here it is. There's no 25-watt Qi 2.2 support, but you can still get 15 watts of magnetic wireless fast charging on the iPhone 17e. Not to mention support for all MagSafe accessories, from battery packs to stands to wallets. Let me know in the comments if MagSafe would be a deal breaker for you. Maybe it's just my friends and family that are in love with it. Please, tell me you agree down below in the comments. Just like we talked about in my other video on the M4 iPad Air, the iPhone 17e isn't flashy. It's not a big upgrade from the iPhone 16e like a flagship phone would be. Not so flashy. But people buy these phones, a lot of them. People walk into an Apple store or Verizon and they just want a new iPhone, but they don't want to pay a ton. Especially people who are switching from lower cost Android phones to iPhone. And I think iPhone 17e delivers a lot more value than the iPhone SE used to. It's a great form factor, the latest processor to guarantee it'll run for years. And with double the storage and MagSafe, I have zero issues recommending this phone to people who want that iPhone experience at an affordable price. Let me know your thoughts, good or bad, down in the comments. Otherwise, follow for more Apple news, and I'll see you all in the next video.